The response to Kendra's story shows how, time and time again, social media ridicules and disbelieves women who are victims, and how left-leaning people fail to be better. Hi, my name is Q, and this is Q the Culture. This channel is dedicated to promoting critical thinking, ethics, and fighting the culture war. This is the first video ever, so welcome. Sit back, relax, grab a snack, and let's get intellectual. Kendra's story. In case you don't already know, Kendra is an ADHD coach who, on August 1st, posted the first part to a series of videos titled, I Fell in Love with My Psychiatrist. In this series, she details a situation where she fell in love with her psychiatrist and he took advantage of her. The relationship lasted months, with Kendra's infatuation intensifying over time. She says she confessed her love to her psychiatrist and informed her therapist about the situation multiple times, but that they both took no action to address it. The series ends with Kendra ultimately deciding to leave her psychiatrist for her own good. If you'd like to understand her story in greater detail, you can watch the series yourself. Her account is in the description. Now that you know her story, we need to talk about the response to it. As she posted the parts to her series, many people have posted in response to her situation, calling Kendra crazy, saying she's delusional, and that she isn't the victim. There are also many posts, mostly skits, mocking her. The criticism of Kendra is unfair, and the reason for that is that they're influenced by misogyny. To prove this, I'm going to debunk the false claims made against her to show that they aren't logical. I'll show examples of posts with the criticism I'm addressing, and I'm not going to censor users. When people post online, they add to the culture and have responsibility not to pollute it. Of course, people rarely do this, but they should. Number 1, the claim that Kendra is manic. The first and biggest claim used to discredit Kendra is that she's manic, but there's no hard evidence to prove that. Most have pointed to her demeanor, but no parts of her demeanor prove she's manic. She's speaking clearly at a regular pace with normal movements. People are going based off vibes. Just because she's sarcastic does not make her manic. People also claim they know because they've been manic, but just because someone has experienced mania does not mean they'll know every time when someone is manic. Another reason is that she has, quote, manic makeup, which is quite literally just glitter. Lastly, people say she's manic because she's posting consistently and going live often, but 1, she isn't posting to an abnormal degree. It's not 100 videos an hour, it's like a couple every week. And 2, it's sensible if you factor in her motivation. Kendra has explained multiple times that the reason she's sharing her story is to raise awareness for victims of abuse at the hands of mental health professionals. If you acknowledge this, then in a sense, she's running a campaign. So it's logical that she'd be going live often and even taking interviews. I've also seen claims that she's an AI psychosis. In her story, she explains how she asked ChatGPT about her situation when she was feeling unsure, and that she named her AI Henry. Should people name their AI? No. Is it proof she's psychotic? No. Lastly, you're just not there. You weren't there during the sessions and you don't see Kendra in person. Therefore, you don't really know what's going on. I'm not saying that everyone should believe Kendra because that would be illogical. It can't be proven that what she's saying is true, but it also can't be proven that it's not. To act as if there's no possible way her telling of events could be legitimate is illogical. There's also a ton of other vibes-based criticisms that are really more like insults that have no evidence, such as that she's a narcissist or that she's a dangerous individual. Number 2, the claim that Kendra doxed her psychiatrist. The next claim is that Kendra doxed her psychiatrist. In a video, she accidentally says his name. Some say it was on purpose because she could have edited it out. But these videos are minutes long, and Kendra is a human. It's reasonable that she may have missed it. As a result, people have found his identity and spread his photo and information online. People blame Kendra for doxing him, even though she's actually asked people multiple times not to search up her psychiatrist or spread photos of him, and they did so anyways, against her wishes. While on this note, I need to address how people claim that she has ruined his career. His career is not ruined because, frankly, no one believes Kendra. For that reason, it also baffles me how many comments there are saying that they can't believe how many people are on her side when Who is on Kendra's side, really? Number 3, the claim that Kendra essayed her psychiatrist. People also claim she sexually harassed her psychiatrist, which is false. Kendra told her psychiatrist about her fantasies involving him, but she never touched or coerced him. People are saying if the roles were reversed, i.e., if Kendra was a man and her psychiatrist a woman, the response to her would have been different. But most people already don't believe Kendra is the victim, and the roles aren't reversed. Yes, if Kendra was a man, the morality of her actions would be different. Men pose an inherent threat of sexual violence to women, so certain actions are threatening when they do it, but not when women do it. But she isn't a man. Her psychiatrist wasn't at risk of being assaulted. Number 4, the claim that he just didn't do anything wrong. In Kendra's videos, she explains many times how her therapist made sure not to cross professional boundaries, and that the manipulation was very calculated. People have interpreted interpreted this to mean that he didn't do anything wrong. But just because somebody didn't cross professional boundaries doesn't mean they acted morally. Her psychiatrist was the provider, and he failed to care for her. Number 5, the claim that Kendra is racist. A black female creator posted a video addressing the racial dynamic between Kendra and her psychiatrist. Kendra is white, and her psychiatrist is brown. In response, Kendra made a video saying that she makes an effort to listen to the voices of black women and that her actions are not racially charged. I see people criticizing her for mentioning black women and acting as if she randomly brought black women up, when that isn't the case. She was responding to something. So, those are the false claims that have been made against Kendra. Before I get into how all of this fits into larger societal patterns, I need to call out how simply cruel and unempathetic people have been. Regardless of whether her telling of events are accurate, the situation was clearly traumatic to her, and mocking her is cruel. Making skits and memes making fun of her is cruel and unethical. So let's get into the cultural analysis. The presence of misogynistic narratives within the responses, how Kendra's experience mirrors that of other public women, and how this creates a larger picture where well-intentioned left-leaning people perpetuate misogyny against victims. Within the responses to Kendra's story, there are many correlations to how society responds to women who are victims of gender-based violence, and specifically how society responds to victims of sexual assaults. Women who talk publicly about experiencing gender-based violence are often ridiculed and invalidated. Their claims are often discounted on unfounded accusations about their mental health. This pattern is incredibly ingrained into our society, and so it's no surprise it showed up in the responses to Kendra. Our culture has a vast history of psychiatric malpractice against women, and in modern eras, mental health is consistently weaponized against women to enable abuse. I'm being reminded of the cases of Britney Spears or Wendy Williams, and how Wendy Williams consistently invalidated victims of SA herself. People also often discourage or shame women for exposing their abusers by saying that the man's career is more important. I witnessed this sentiment all over the responses to Kendra. In a comment I read, someone said, "How could you ruin an innocent man's career over nothing?" Which is so painfully ironic. It's a sentence that is used against victims of SA time and time again. I've read many other similar comments, and it pains me how little self-awareness commenters have. It's as if they don't even realize the parallels. I also saw people engage in the type of heinous double standard, where a flawed woman is likened to a criminally evil man. In a comment I saw, someone said that Kendra reminded them of Joe Goldberg from You. If you didn't know, in You, the TV series, Joe Goldberg is a psychopathic serial killer. They likened Kendra, who is at worst a misguided woman in a mental health crisis, to a psychopathic serial killer. The last misogynistic narrative I want to point out is the idea of a mentally ill woman pursuing a man that doesn't want her, a trope that's been in media for a long time. Conservatives, of course, never support a victim, but this situation acts as a prime example of how people who claim to be left-leaning contribute to this problem. It's why, even in left-leaning spaces, these behaviors and situations happen time and time again. The most recent example is with Livy Rose Henderson, commonly referred to as DoorDash Girl. While Liv was delivering food to a customer, they flashed her. She came on TikTok to share her experience, and in response, the internet has repeated these misogynistic behaviors. The responses to her are plagued with gaps in logic. Many have claimed that Liv lied, despite the fact that, unlike Kendra, Liv has evidence of the event. She's also been accused of being crazy because after the internet invalidated her, she dared to respond and be angry. If you want to know more, Kat Black made a great video about it, which I'll link below. Another person this situation reminds me of is Gabby Hanna, though with some key differences. Gabby Hanna truly was manic, and her behavior was tangibly different than Kendra's. Gabby was posting hundreds of videos and speaking in ways that were literally unintelligible. Her behavior was very different than Kendra's, and yet they received very similar responses. Gabby became the internet's #1 laughingstock. Hassan Piker, one of the current largest leftist content creators, was one of the main drivers of anti-Amber Heard sentiments. I haven't done research into this topic, but a journalist I trust, Taylor Lorenz, made a video about it, which I'll link in the description. She also made a video about the alleged smear campaign against Blake Lively, which I'll link to as well. Though, for that case, I especially have to note that I haven't researched it myself and cannot verify the validity of those claims. I'm less sure of those, but they act as potential examples of celebrities experiencing the same phenomena. Both left-leaning people and creators need to do better. We need to critically think before posting our judgments. Is everything you're about to say provable? Most left-leaning people are able to admit that misogyny and double standards exist in a vacuum. But when it comes time to actually judge a woman, somehow the woman they're persecuting is always the exception. So many people commented that Kendra made me defend a man, but reflect on where you were during all these other cases. People need to stop judging based off of vibes, because in a society where misogyny is woven so deeply into its fabric, no matter our intention, we are all biased. And when we don't check the facts, we default to bigotry. It's especially important that creators do better. As people in positions of power, you should know better and be better. Creators I enjoy engage in this behavior. And while I don't believe that they all need to be deplatformed, they need to think more critically and check the facts. So that was my first video. If you liked it, subscribe. Truly.